Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet, and we are going to be casting the second series of semi-finals in the Zotac Monthly Cup, which was run back in April. Now, in the previous semi-final series of games, it was Snoot versus Sage. Snoot the Zerg player and Sage the Protoss player, and Snoot managed to eke out a win after an ace match in a best of 3 series, and congratulations to him. But now we are going to move into the second series of semi-finals, and this one we do have our blue Terran player Polt up the top left side, and down the bottom right side we do have our orange Protoss player Tails. Now, I remember somewhere in the previous semi-finals I said that the next couple of players on the other semi-finals was something like Pain and Nails or something like that. I got the names completely messed up, but they are going to be Polt and Tails going head to head here in another best of 3 series to see who will be going into the grand final to face against our Zerg player Snoot. So I'm really revved up to see what happens in this game. I actually meant to cast it a few days ago, but I've been a bit sick. But we are back, we are getting better, and we are going to get stuck into this game. We're going to see exactly what's going to happen. Got a gateway coming down nice and close to the Protoss Nexus. He's not worried at all about gating off this area because he's not facing a Zerg player, so he's happy just to have it back here, and that gives him a little bit more protection for his Nexus and for his pros, because we can build out units just as soon as the unit comes out, they're in a lot better position to protect these probes, and that's good when you're facing stuff like Hellions and all that sort of fun stuff. So there we go. As you can hear, I'm not 100% well yet, but should be a lot better than it used to be. So there we go. We've got a nice supply depot down here. I think he's worried about a proxy pylon in this area, because this area is really cut off from the main thoroughfare down here across this ramp. It's sort of out of the way, so be quite easy in the very early game for a single probe to get up there and just hide down the bottom. And there we go. That probe might in fact have been thinking about doing that, but he saw the supply depot down there, so he's not going to do anything. There we go. He is looking for a place to build that pylon, and the Terran player is going to sideswipe an SCV over there and see it. He did see it for a second, but it is highlighted on his map now that he's seen it once. So yeah, that's got to be fine. I think this Reaper might have killed the drone there, so that's good. Killed the probe. Here we go. There's an engineering bay being half built on there to block that expansion. So you can expect him to cancel that as soon as the Zealot comes down and starts to attack it. Here we go. A couple of SCVs taking this out. I'm not sure if he really is going to be worried about the gateway tech. It's only just started to come up now, so there's no way the Terran player could be expecting anything to warp in right now. But he's going to get rid of it anyway. He's going to take some workers off. Personally, I would have just taken it out with the first couple of Reapers, but of course it is scouting information that the Protoss is getting as well. Didn't quite manage to finish this off. The Reaper is going to get chased away before it can do anything at all, and this NG Bay is going to be cancelled. But he's got to wait until the last second, because of course he'd love to keep blocking that expansion, because the longer he keeps the expansion from being built, the better it is for the Terran player. He's going to come up, he's going to start getting into harass, but he sees another Stalker, and that is not going to be good for him. I thought this probe might have been building a base over there, but no, he's here you go. The Reaper is third time lucky, and he gets in there now. He's going to start hitting that probe, but the probe just runs straight past him, and here he goes. He's going to get around the back of the mineral line, but the Stalker in the mineral line, and I think the Stalker has a much higher range than the Reaper. Yeah, the Reaper only has 5 range, the Stalker has 6, and that Reaper goes down. So there we go. We've got another pylon coming out here. It's a bit further away. The Terran player probably won't see this until he starts going for his third base, or unless he starts running an army through there. And if the Terran player gets an army, then a warp it is probably not going to help him that much at that stage of the game anyway. But here we go. Couple of Stalkers coming in. He's going to get a few more sentries down there as well. That is a massive amount of gas he just spent there, and I hope he's going to be able to do something with it. Usually you get the sentries earlier than the Stalkers, because then you can let them charge their energy up. But yeah, he's apparently not expecting this bunker though. This bunker out the front is going to stop a lot of the harass, and of course the sentries, force fields and stuff like that, they really don't do anything versus a bunker. So the bunker is going to be fairly effective right now at pushing away any sort of Protoss advance, and the Protoss is it's going to slowly build up forces and then maybe make a push on the bunker. But the Terran player, he's got more Marines up there, he's got a second bunker. Would not be surprised to see him kill this bunker and regen another one over there. Here we go, SCV's come down. He's going to see the Nexus. I don't know if he saw it complete, but he just knows that it's on the way. And here he goes, he's got to have a good scout off. He sees the 3 gateways. He's already seen the back 2 previously, so that's fine. Bunch of Marines are back there. The force field's not really doing much to help him. But here we go, a bit of reinforcement there. There is one Marauder, so that's going to be a bit scary. But he's had to send some workers in here as well to try and fend off this advance. And that is definitely bad for the Terran player. You can see him just getting overwhelmed here. He did not have enough forces. This was actually technically a 5 gate of 2 bases. And it worked very well. He managed to get quite a large amount of forces off. And the Terran player just wasn't prepared. He had a bit of defense there, but it just wasn't enough for this massive amount of forces. He's getting a lot more out now. He's been building up and saving him back at the main base, but now a couple of more Zealots. Terran player might be able to hold this off if he gets the workers in there, but I still doubt it. There we go. One Zealot going down. More of these workers really providing an excellent shield for the Marines. Force field going down. He's going to kill a couple of workers there. He's going to get up, but a sentry goes down. Another Stalker goes down. And yeah, the army just getting more and more impressive for the Terran army. He's managing to get a good force. The Protoss is constantly getting reinforcements, but so is the Terran player. And I think the Terran player might be able to hold this. I'm not 100% sure because this Protoss player really keeps pushing. And the Terran has only been keeping well so far by sending his workers in as distractions. So he's got to do some good work here. The workers really making all the difference here. Yeah, pushing away these Stalkers, and he's managing to fend off the army again and again and again. But the amount of workers that he's lost, man, I think it's still a lose-lose situation. If he pushes the army off, he still loses because he's just lost so much income. And there's really no way around it. What's going on here? This SCV is just chilling there. It's not doing anything at all. There he goes. One Marauder left. Actually, there's a bunch of units down there doing a nice bit of a stim to take care of that Zealot. They're going to wipe out the Stalker, but here comes another fresh army again. The Protoss doing a very good job of continuing on the harass. There's a Widow Mine coming out somewhere that may be able to help a little bit, but I don't think it's going to turn the tide one way or the other. And here we go, he's sending more workers out there, constantly sending workers out. He's down to 13 workers compared to 32 of the Protoss player, and I do not think that the Terran player can move back from here. He's done an excellent job defending, but the fact that he's had to use workers to defend is, I mean, basically at this point I'd say he's pretty much lost the game. He's just too far behind, and unless the Protoss just sits back and lets him macro up his economy again, then I'm really not sure that the Terran player has any chance. And the Protoss player is just going to continue macroing up, continue getting all his stuff together, and he's going to go for a bit of higher tech, and then I think he's just going to hit the Terran player again. And the Terran player going for a starport now is a very good plan here. He's getting a reactor there. That is not for Hellions, that is for the Medivacs, I assume. Or maybe he's going for a ton of Widow Mines, but I definitely think he's going for Medivacs. He's going to try and go for some drop play. He's going to try and hit the economy of the Protoss player, try and even it out. He knows how far behind he is now, and he knows that the only way he's going to get back in this game is by some very nice drop play. Taking out a ton of workers, put the Protoss player on the back foot, and maybe he'll be able to get himself back on even footing. The Protoss player is giving him a breather right now, but it's not going to last forever. I think the Protoss player is just getting his army up again, going to get a nice big force. And he's getting a nice big force here. He should be able to move in a matter of minutes, go in there and start taking these guys out. The Terran player is trying to get out forces. You can see 2 Medivacs coming out now, so he's really going to push this drop action. He's not going for single drops, he's going for a very large drop. He really wants to wipe out a lot of workers. And if he manages to wipe out workers, not only does he even up the economy while building up his own workers back here, but he could also try and keep the Protoss army in a defensive mindset so they don't move out again, because if they move out again, the Terran player is going to be in a lot of trouble. I mean, with the Immortals being added to the field now, I do not know if the Terran player can really counter it, because, I mean, against Zealots and Stalkers, Marauders are very, very heavy and very, very good at both of those units, but of course Immortals just wipe the face of the earth with Marauders, so if he gets out too many Immortals, then this army is just going to go down, and there is not much the Terran player can do about it. But here we goes, the drop. He's going to drop him up in this area. Hope the Protoss doesn't see it until it's far too late. There we go, it's coming down. The Protoss player oh my god, sees it straight away. He's going to come up there. Lost a couple of units, but he did not lose a medevac. He only lost like 2 Marines or something like that, so good play. But he's going to double back. He's going to drop down on another part of this base. I don't think there's anywhere on this island that the Protoss player can't see, and he saw that medevac coming in. I don't know if he has an observer or something up there. No, he doesn't, but I would not be surprised to see him get one fairly soon. Nice observer on this high ground just to spot the drops coming in. And there we go, this force is just going to drop back down here. Basically just dropped him down to heal him up, I think. And he might load him in and try for another go. Here we go, there's another 2 dropships, another group of forces over here. So he's going to try attacking from both sides. It's really, really got to be a nice play here from the Terran player. But the Protoss, he knows exactly what's going on all sides. He's got the army in the middle. He is playing defensively at the moment, but at the same time he's getting up a very, very nice army. He's got 1 Colossus out now. He's getting the Colossus range upgrade. And this Terran army is just completely outmatched at the moment. The only thing they've got to their advantage is mobility. They can run circles around the Protoss army. The Protoss army is fast-ish, but the Protoss has to constantly deal with drops all over the place. The Terran can drop anywhere at any time, and the Protoss player needs to counter it. You can see there he's moving out his army. Terran player is going to go in there, but he does have this force up the back. I don't know if this force is going to be enough. I don't think he has Zealot legs, but he's got to warp in a bunch more, and at least it'll be able to hold off these guys. That is quite a scary force though. I think the Protoss should be able to hold it off though, just by continuing to warp in units. Meanwhile, this main force comes up. Couple of Vikings in there, but this force is all going to die. The Terran cannot hope to defeat this force. Even with the workers coming in here, I think it's just going to be game over at this point. This force is doing a bit more. They've warded off the defenders, but just way more just going to warp in, and it's absolutely going to be, the Protoss player is going to have no real troubles back at home. And meanwhile out here he's lost a fair amount of his army, but he's still got 2 Colossus going. And this is all he needs. He's just going to completely wipe out this base, and there's not really much he can do. The Terran's trying to move the drop over there, outmaneuver the Protoss base, but it's very hard to outmaneuver somebody in their own base. He's managed to get up another decent sized army, but as long as the Colossus keep their range, this should be fine. Here we go though. A Viking tried to take out the Colossus, just didn't get it. I think the Marauders got a shot off right at the last second. And yeah, he's got a bunch of Marauders up there. So here we go, we don't mind hitting it at the last second as well. But the bloody Protoss player has warded off that offensive. The medevac's coming back with no units, all those units were dead. And the Protoss has now got enough leeway to actually start building units off this pylon over here and start pushing in. So we're back to the 6 or 7 minute mark. The Protoss trying to push in. The Terran player trying to keep him out of there. And let's have a look at the income tab for a second. The Terran player, man, he really, really lost a lot of workers when that expansion went down. And it's basically the same as it was before. The drop action, very good at keeping the Protoss defensive, but I mean, honestly, I would not be surprised if the Protoss was happy being defensive. He was just building up his army, getting his forces together, and then when he had a big enough army, he moved out and he wiped out the Terran's expansion. He cut down his worker count again, and I think, no, I mean, things have just been going the way that the Protoss wanted it to for pretty much the entire game. You can see now he's not going to warp in anymore up here. He's got to keep warping in forces. There he goes. This is a defensive army because he knows these forces are over there. He knows there's medevacs. He's going to go up here, finish the job, and meanwhile he's building an army up here to take care of these guys when they finally move in. Did he finally have an observer here or something? He must have. He did take out the Widowmine. Yeah, there's the observer over there. And here we go. This force, the Colossus, man, just doing so much good work. He's warping in a bunch more zealots. And here we go. The Colossus, I think the Colossus were trying to kite there, but did some sort of good job. And there we go. The attacking force got wiped out. The Terran player has nothing back here. And he's completely out of resources. This command center, I think he was going to fly this command center over there or something like that. I'm not sure what he was doing. But yeah, there we go. Protoss player taking it out with some very good pressure. He did some good pressure early on. The Terran player wasn't ready for it all that early. He had a bunker down. He had some fairly good defensive stuff, but the Protoss 5-gated him off an expansion. And he had quite a lot of economy going, and the Terran player just wasn't ready for it. All his forces went down, and he lost quite a lot. And yeah, the Protoss player just retreated after he did the damage he needed to do, built up his forces, and then went in again. And it was exactly what he needed to do, and it was a great job. And he did a great job defensive as well. I mean, he was fighting two armies at the same time. He was warping in forces here to try and hold off the Terran offensive with the dropships, and at the same time he was sending his main force over to the main base and going in there and doing the damage that he needed to do. So great job from our Protoss player. Really, really strong, solid play from him. And yeah, Terran player did some nice drops, but he's going to have to do better than that if he wants to win this series of 3. So this is Hairy Muppet. We're going to go into the second game now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll check you guys later.